Our Honda CRV here has been in the family for just as long as we've had the RV, which has been around 14 years now, and it has just been a great all-around car to tow behind the RV, to use while we're out in these remote areas. We primarily boondock now, and we're out in remote places. We use it to go scout locations to take the RV out into, and some of those roads are really washboardy or kind of sketchy, so it's nice to have a little more clearance and just a little bit of off-roady capability. It's an all-wheel drive and it flat tows really well. I'm going to be doing something a little bit controversial, and that is to install some larger all-terrain tires on here. I've also ordered a 1.5 inch lift kit for it to give me a little bit more height and clearance. So I'm pretty excited to get those things installed, because I just heard from the tire shop letting me know that the tires that I ordered are ready to be installed. I'm gonna head down there soon and we're gonna get those on, and then take a look at the lift kit. So let's go. Well, I think it looks pretty awesome. I'm really happy with the way they turned out, and there's no rubbing or anything, and they fit pretty well just within with the stock rims and within the wheel well, even before lifted. So let's take a closer look. So these are TOYO open country AT3s, and the size is 225/75R15s. These are the stock 15-inch rims, and you can see even without a lift, they fit nicely within the rear here, and also in the front, which actually has a little bit more clearance. So I'm pretty happy with the way they fit just without even lifting it. In fact, it even makes it look a lot more proportional with the roof rack on top, and it already looks really nice. Alright, well, I am all ready to install the lift kit today, starting with the rear. Now what I'm going to use is a lift kit that I picked up from HRG, which is Honda Rescue Garage. Now they make and sell a 1.5 inch lift, is the smallest one they have, and that's the one I'm going to install for my year of CRV here. I'll show you those in a sec, but the general idea is to take out this strut and everything that's in its way, and drop that down, and then I'm going to put the lift spacers on top of the strut and just reinstall the strut. So that should give me a little bit of extra lift here in the back, and do the same thing on the front 2 tires as well. But I've got it all jacked up and the tires are off. I've made sure I had all the sockets and tools that I need to get this job done, and I'm ready to go. So let me show you the lift spacers real quick, and then we'll get started. Alright, well, here's what I get with the lift kit from HRG. Now this is a 1.5 inch lift kit for my CRV, and this is the rear, the 2 rear spacers that are going to go on top of the struts, and these are the 2 spacers for the front struts. It also comes with some instructions here that I've gone through, and they also have a few good tutorial videos on YouTube, so that should really help too. I've looked at them all, and I think I'm ready to go. Now we'll take a closer look at these once I get the struts off, because I want to clean them up a bit, and then you'll see how these fit on top. So let's get started. First thing I do is remove this ABS line and the brake line, get it out of the way. Okay. Alright, that's off. strut is loosened. Now we need to go inside. Now the top of the strut is anchored with two of these 14 millimeter bolts here at the top. You remove this panel here on the wheel well, and you can access those here. There it is. All right, now I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side to get that strut out. All right. Alright, check these out. They look pretty good, don't they, for OEM struts from 2004? And they're pretty good shape. Now you might be wondering why didn't I just get new struts? And I thought about it, but you know, there was nothing wrong with these. They weren't bouncing or anything, and there was nothing leaking out of them. So, you know, as far as I could tell, they were still in decent shape. So I figured I'd just put these back and not worry about new struts at this point. But there's one more thing I have to do before I install these, and let me show you what that is. If I put the spacer here on the top, you can see that, you know, this bolt that pops through here is keeping it from being flush. So what I'm gonna have to do is to just trim the top off of these, and then it should sit nice and flush. And I have to trim that off with a cutting wheel. All right, so I'm going to put the spacer on. I'm just going to use the original bolts here to bolt down the spacer, and then the new bolts that came with the spacers with the kit will actually go here on the top. All right, well, one side done. I've got the strut back in and bolted. I'm going to do the final torque when everything is resting down. Go do the other side and we'll put the tires back on. All right, well, the rear wheels are done, spacers are in, looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna get to work here on the front, and I'm just gonna kind of blow through this part, I hope. I got a little bit more room to work here, and hopefully it's gonna go pretty smooth. But the process is pretty much the same, you know, removing the stuff connected to the strut and the tie rod, and unbolt the strut from the top, pull it down, and put the spacer on and reattach it. I want to get this done before the end of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Well, I'm halfway into the installation of the front lift spacers, and I got both struts out, and you can see the lift here. I got it installed on the passenger side, So it's just bolted on here. You could tell it's just shaped a little bit different than the other one. See if I can lift it up here. There you go. It's kind of green looking. I think both of these are actually identical, so I got to get it lined up and installed, and should be off and running. Hopefully the rest goes pretty smoothly. So I did fire up the light bar for the first time last night. I went up when it was really late at night and it was pitch black, and it really was like night and day. When I fired it up, it was like poof, and the whole place just lit up, and it's pretty bright. So I'm really happy with that, and it was pretty inexpensive. I wanted something that was kind of low profile like that I could mount to the rack, and the light bar itself was about $68 on Amazon. And I also found a rack mounted kit that allowed me to kind of mount it to a railing. That worked out really well, pretty inexpensive also. I'll drop links to all that stuff down in the description if you want to check it out. One of the things that I didn't mention, that when I did take it in to get it aligned, when everything was all completed, I had the alignment guy also install some adjustable camber bolts on the front and an adjustable control arm on the rear wheels, so they can get it to 100% alignment. So a little bit extra there, but definitely it's going to be worthwhile down the road. But yeah, I'm pretty happy overall with the look and the improvement. I've been driving it around for about a week now with the lift and everything on it. It drives really well, tracks nice and smooth. What happens is I park somewhere in a parking lot, and I find myself just kind of like walking away and looking back at it and smiling. So it must be love. But let me know what you think of this project, and if you've done something similar, if you have any future recommendations for our old 2004 CRV. But that's going to do it for this one, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.